So this morning for me, I guess it was yesterday for everybody watching this video, I had an amazing clickbait title. And I got like almost 300 views as of the recording of this video. And so I wanted to thank anybody that came back from yesterday. That was really cool. Before that, I think my record was like 18 views or something like that. So going from 18 to almost 300 at this point, really fun. So thank you for returning if any of you guys returned. Um, Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about an expansion of yesterday's story, which was the Joe Rogan, Dr. Robert Malone, TLDR, which is too long, didn't read. It's a Reddit phrase for this is the summary. Um, I'd like to talk about something that they talked about in their podcast together. I think it was on January 2nd, or maybe it was January 1st. But the thing I wanted to address right now is something that you've probably seen all over the internet, and that is GETTR's huge success since then. GETTR launched in July. It was July 4th last year. Um, and I mean, it's got millions of users now, and it's got millions of accounts. I don't know the exact approximate or an approximate number, but I know it's in the tens, at least over 10 million followers, I'm sure, because Joe Rogan here has 8.8 million followers. Now, I'm not sure. He said, just in case, he basically says he's here on GETTR January 2nd. And this is really cool because GETTR transferred all of his, I think these are tweets from Twitter. I don't know how they did this, if it's legal for them to just rip everything without a user's consent, or if Joe Rogan just hired a bunch of interns to like paste everything over here. But it has dates, and it has dates from 2020. I didn't scroll further than 2020 just because I realized that it wasn't around past that. So I think it has everything that he has from his entire Twitter account just put on here, which is kind of a savage move towards Twitter. Like Twitter is definitely hemorrhaging users right now, especially for a company that's 7-8 months old. So this is a kind of crazy story, and I think I saw earlier on GETTR there was a news story. I joined today. There was a news story that something like 800,000 people had joined GETTR since Joe Rogan switched over to it. So just him switching brought like almost 1 million people, and celebrities are joining left and right. Like Tulsi Gabbard just joined GETTR. And the reason this is kind of an extension of yesterday's video is yesterday I didn't talk about it as much, but it was talked a lot about in the podcast with Joe Rogan. And that was that social media is so hugely influenced by the pharmaceutical companies, and the parent companies associated with pharmaceutical companies also are parent companies of fact-checking companies that basically fact-checked and rule Twitter. So if you post any information that is anti Pfizer, for example, that says, hey, these are some issues with the Pfizer vaccine trials. And this is hypothetical. I do know something similar happened in this, but I don't know all the details. So I'll say hypothetically, if you post that, then there is a financial motivation and financial conflict for the fact checkers to then go and fact check that into falsehood and then get you banned and removed from Twitter. And that's what Dr. Malone said he was removed from Twitter for. And again, 293 views. I got to thank everybody for clicking on my clickbait, because I guess that was like a really good title, and that's like all you need to have success on YouTube, I guess. But yeah, so that was a huge part of their conversation, and this is probably the most consequential immediate effect from their podcast is now people are coming left and right to GETTR. Even the name is like a rip from Twitter, so that's pretty messed up. But yeah, so that's really the most consequential thing that happened as a result of the podcast between the two. The fun things to watch out for tomorrow, which will be when I post this. I'm going to post this same time, so 7:30 in the morning, my time, Mountain Time. The thing to watch out for tomorrow is the January 6th memorial. I don't know how we can do that. It's going to be 145 days since we abandoned U.S. citizens in Afghanistan. So that seems to be a pretty solid landmark to memorialize. But we're going to be memorializing the 1 year anniversary of people rioting at the Capitol, and nobody died except for one conservative person. One Trump supporter was the only political martyr, if you will. So that'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I know the DOJ is sorry, yeah, the head of the DOJ was talking about like precautions for the January 6th. I forget his name off the top of my head. I'm sure it's over here on Twitter, but he was talking about how they're not even like done with the precautions that they're setting up for the January 6th thing. I don't understand why I can't remember his name or where I found this, but yeah, so I'll stop boring you with that tangent of thought. But yeah, so it's gonna be a fun day tomorrow. There it is, Merrick Garland. Jeez Louise, I'm pretty sure he's the head of the DOJ. So I don't know why he's talking about how the actions they've taken thus far will not be their last, but I guess he's talking about the prosecutions. There's people that are being charged with trespassing that have been in isolation for months, and I don't understand how that's even legal. But of course, all we do now is stuff that's not legal, like the vaccine mandate. Listening to Dr. Malone, talk about that. He talks about how ethics is constantly drilled into his fellow scientists and himself, and how that's against like a bunch of like international laws and against the Constitution and stuff like that. And there's all these sort of ethical problems with it. So that being said, I don't really have a lot of faith in laws. For example, power is power, as Queen Cersei says. It's not about law anymore in the United States of America. It's about power, and if you have power, then you have power. So yeah, GETTR seems a little back to GETTR. Sorry, my scatterbrain again. It's the end of the day, and let's face it, this is a pretty low quality video. But GETTR is a little bit conservative for my taste. I'm very conservative. I'm actually a libertarian conservative, but it seems to be a bit of a conservative trap so far. So hopefully more people like Tulsi will come in and balance it out. But we'll see. Anyways, shorter video today. I don't really have any reason to hit the 10-minute mark, so I guess I'll end there. But thanks so much for listening. Today was a really slow news day, so there wasn't really much to talk about besides GETTR. GETTR was like everybody's favorite topic, so sorry if you're sick of it. But January 6th should be fun. Lots of fun stuff happening tomorrow, so I'll talk to you then. Bye.